Good morning. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Biro, and I'm full on brand today. Look at this green, blue, and the where is it? Atlassian watermelon logo.
Lovely. Thank you so much for introduction of your t-shirt, Bureau. So this is a Monday coffee with Jexo, where we scan through the last week's news and updates from across the Atlassian world, and the links for the sources of the topics we are going to discuss today are linked in the description.
All
So
right, so topic number one.
that's mine. Can we share the screen, please? Thank you. So there are two new features that were released to the next gens or team managed projects, if you want to keep the naming convention that was announced last week, and they are both related to the workflows. So first of all, now you can assign additional statuses to the done category, so you can create statuses like won't fix, released, and so on. And with the other improvement, you can now assign more than one status to the column in the Kanban board, which should help you keep your board tidy. So in the article, there is a step-by-step guide on how you can use these new features. So it should help you get up and running. And they are also mentioning new improvements that are coming that are all related to the workflows. So they are going to be allowing you to create a different workflows per issue type. So some of these improvements, they only support the thought that one day next-gen projects will have the same features as a classic, but just with the new UI. So we were discussing this last week.
Yeah, it's all good and nice and everything. I actually got a bit too excited when I heard this news initially because I thought that they're gonna finally implement the ability to control when tickets in done get to disappear from the down column because very often we have uh, a bit too much clutter in the done column, but apparently that's not available yet. So if you're looking for controlling that level, you're not going to get it right now. But everything else is, on point
I
and
think I
useful.
think that's going to be doable with the third improvement that's coming, which is ability to unmap statuses from the board, which basically means that if you can have a different done status, status, and then you can choose it not to map to your column in the Kanban, so you can just clean up the stuff.
That, or you can, with that unmapped statuses, you can say, okay, after, I don't know, after a day or two, move all of those items by using automation for Jira or something like that. All
Yes.
right. Next, we're on to um, the security upgrades. And let me just scroll the way up. Um, the security upgrades for server and data center. This was announced last week, and it's basically an announcement for the beginning of a large overhaul in upgrading libraries and dependencies in the Atlassian products, mainly server and data center. This seems to come on the back of the vulnerability management program. So they probably found a bunch of number of risks in their products in older versions of third party code. So they decided to do cleanup to start cleanup now. Uh, from the message, it doesn't seem like they're expecting any breaking changes with these upgrades, but they are making the announcement in order to to get everyone prepared in case there are any unknown risks or issues, unexpected issues that they might encounter along the way, so that everyone knows that it might be caused by this. Also, from the comments section, I was looking at the comments here, and I've noticed one mention here which I wasn't aware. Um, the fact that they already ran a pilot program for the bug bounty program with DC apps, data center apps. So that's an interesting point. It does seem that that there's something that they're looking in introducing in the future. So you might want to be on a lookout for that as well.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's going to be bug bounty for the data center as well. So
It seems like that. The comment was a bit, as you can see, it's a bit refrained, to put it like that. They're not
mm,
yet settled into any approach and have not taken any decision yet. So it's probably going to take a while until something solid comes across as news. All right. Okay, let's move on to
the Ecochallenge, is it? Yeah, perfect. Sorry.
yeah.
So Atlassian is running
You're
an Eco.
expecting me to introduce the title.
So on the other news, the Atlassian is running Ecochallenge in April, and they're inviting everyone to join. So the goal of this challenge is to basically raise the awareness around the environmental changes and how to help the environment. So in this, when you take this challenge, you can select different tasks from electricity or food you use and so on. And when you join, you can browse different categories and select the different challenges. And then once the challenge starts, you can track your progress on the dashboards and basically let me just click it here, and basically see the results and collect the points even with your team. So it's quite nice, and there is a lot of challenges. I specifically set a few around food because I like
Eat.
to eat. Yes, so I should eat less. So I personally really like these types of challenges because they raise awareness in a certain topic, but also you might pick up some good habits that you will keep even after the challenge ends. So I especially like to do the veganuary one, where you even remain vegan for several months afterwards. And although it's just the 30 days, which might not seem too much to make any impact, if you keep some of these habits and you raise awareness and you are aware of your actions in the future, that might really help the environment and you will make a difference.
Okay, that makes sense. You need to get me to do some of these as well, and probably the rest of our team.
Yes, definitely. Well, Brazilian team eats a lot of food, so wanting them to be vegan, that's impossible.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All
Well,
right, so let's move on to next up. Uh, Appfire is back in the news. Surprise, surprise. I think we're all here of hearing news. This kind of news from Appfire. So they recently last week announced that they raised another 100 million investment to continue their buying spree of apps. They bought quite a bit of vendors and apps last year. This investment comes from the private equity firm TA Associates. Um, it's it's interesting. I was reading the article. It's interesting to find out that Appfire was actually bootstrap until last year when they got their first investment, which was 49 million. Um, I think both Nikki and I have a good level of respect for companies that don't just jump into financial aid overnight and actually try to build a lucrative business independent from any financial aid. Jexo was also bootstrapped for the first 2 years of its existence, so yeah, we have a found respect for that. Um, Last year they acquired last actually not I don't think it's last year, in the last period. I don't know if they might have acquired some companies early this year as well, but they acquired in total so far since their investment 6 companies from the Atlassian ecosystem, and that's includes Bolchon, Bcom, Innovalog, Navaram, Artemis, and Bolo. Pretty good names, to be honest, to add to the portfolio. The company also doubled in revenue last year, which is insane to think about. Insane, to say the least. at their size to double in revenue. Given probably some of that is also contributed to by the acquired company's revenue, but still that is very impressive. So yeah, go to the link, read the article. There's also a bit of a backstory of how Appfire came to be, the early days, how they transition in one of the biggest, if not the biggest, app vendor in the marketplace, and a bit of an insight of on their future strategy. So you'll find a bit of information of all of that in the article from TechCrunch. All right, Nikki,
Interesting. So I have another article as well, but on the a little bit other note.
right?
So uh, we got the article of the week again, and this week's article is from Trello blog, and it talks about the consistency. So in this article, they say that the consistency is a key to being successful, and it's true. Because if you do something consistently every day or a week for a really long period of time, the chance that you will get successful in what you do increases, right? So there is a problem. A lot of people are not able to stick to something and to create a habit. So there are some tips included in the article on how to you can better set your goals and remove the obstacles that might be stopping you.
Yeah, so I mean, consistency is hard, and especially when you exist in a fast pace, ever changing environment and landscape. But both Nikki and I have seen results by being consistent at various activities. So I mean, it definitely works, and those are some very good, useful tips on how to stay consistent. Because I mean, at least I know, being a very chaotic person, how hard it can be to be consistent.
Mm. There was actually one more point in this article, which I found quite funny. Researchers found that people are less stressed at work if their boss is consistently jerk than if he's sometimes nice and sometimes being jerk. Because people value better, it seems that people value better a consistency than anything else.
Okay, so that means we need to choose a side, Nikki. We can't be, adjusting. We need to choose a side. So yeah,
It's confusing people. It's confusing people. So you need to do one thing all the time.
tell you what, we can play the good cop, bad cop. You can be the
Yes.
good cop, and I'll be the bad cop consistently. Okay.
I think that will be least confusing.
All right, all right, cool. And then, last but not least, let's look at this little thing here. Not much to say. This is a taco game, which is inspired by the dinosaur game, which you can find on Trello's website. And I'm not sure if this is supposed to work only when you're offline or not, but I mean, it does work with the internet, and it's like the dinosaur is pretty addictive. One thing that I would like to see is maybe a bit more random tasks, like the ones that are provided here, because it's always the same task shown.
Well,
Um,
there is also other game like that Taco Out, I think, if you click
yeah,
on
there
that.
are other games as well. I don't know why I can't. Oh, yeah, so there's the Taco Out, which you will find all of them in the footer of the other one. So these games, I didn't knew about them. They were created as Easter eggs for various milestones in Trello's existence. So these games have been built throughout the years for various reasons, from for various achievements and such, and there were Easter eggs, as in you were supposed to find them, um, but they're now all listed there. So if you want, you can just go in and play a bit while you're waiting for I don't know, maybe you're waiting for a call or a stand up or something like that, and
You can play attack ball.
yeah, you can play a taco ball here. There are other games as well. So yeah, that's it. That's it for this week. A bit shorter this week, but it's all good. Pretty exciting news in the ecosystem, anyways, as every single week. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to our channels, the YouTubes and such, so that we can bring you every single week um, a piece, at least a portion of news from the Atlassian ecosystem. So have a lovely Monday morning, afternoon, day, and enjoy the rest of your week. See you next week.
See you next week. And music. Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da.
hold on.
No.